Hel-
Hi, Jane. I'm here with Jane Kennard.
Yes, and we're going to hold another circle, hopefully some questions for the guides. I'm going to do some channeling as well. First, I want to say happy birthday to my 16-year-old grandson today. I can't believe he's 6.
I don't know how that happened.
How have you been, Joanna?
I've been well. Yeah.
Shall we begin?
Yes.
Do you have some? I guess. I will say that we're having a few technology problems today. Now, I know that this is the energies because I work with energies, and they always seem, they get very excited sometimes, and it will knock things out. So if we do go blank, please just stay with us. We're still here. We just are dealing with many dimensions at one time. Joanna, you should be used to this. We've had so many of these occasions. Technology and spirituality, the energy often clash, but we still will maintain our desire to get out there for sure.
Right. And if things do go sideways, I'll just keep talking, and we'll just try to keep it as normal as possible.
Yes, talk about the book you're writing. That would be just as interesting for sure.
Well, we are here today, and we do have questions. One has come in from Michael. He asks, "Dear Jane and guides, can you please tell us what near-death experiences do reveal about life and beyond?"
Michael, thank you for your question. I suppose a near-death experience for the person who experiences it would help you understand free will, because they realize that they choose to come back and that you choose to leave. It would clarify that. It might help the person find their truth of what they were seeking. For sure, they probably still had things that they hadn't done yet and discovered that there still was more to do. I think we'll all have those experiences. I don't think they're unusual. I think they're just unusual when people hear about them, for people that have been brought back through different ways, which our amazing medicine now actually can bring people back so many more times, especially through accidental things. I think it helps those who are searching to read that information. It helps them to, especially if they're fearful of dying, it helps them to see that there could be more to life, which I know there is. It's a confirmation for those who already believe that that is the case. It's wonderful to help people that are, they've been floundering. And many of those instances, the people were floundering. They find out in this past existence that this past experience, because they're not going to a past life. They're being brought back to the present life, that they maybe weren't getting to the very crux of their promises, of the tasks that they came to do. And they, so many have come back and written books and changed their lives and done so many wonderful things that I think we all will have them. Whether we come back or not will be our desire, free will.
I've heard them talking about being out of their body, looking down on their body, floating above themselves. I've heard of the sense of seeing a light and starting to go towards the light and then being pulled back. And I think it would be a very fascinating question for us to ask the guides about that, because it could be quite different for different people. Of course, depends how far you are into the transition and before you come back.
I remember a guide telling me one time that everyone will experience what they believe at first. So if you believe there's nothing, at first you might experience kind of nothing. And if you believe that you will be met by Jesus or a grandmother or someone amazing, they're there. I think we have to realize the power we have in the creation of our path. And they often say, well, we'll let you believe what it is, and then we'll take over after we've got you, and we can get you to relax and move towards the light, or whatever it is. Yeah.
I've heard that too, that what we believe will experience, we will first experience, and then it'll be just a gradual transition to an awareness of something maybe different from what we believed. And I think it would be really a wonderful opportunity when you channel Jane for me to ask also the guides if they could explain to us what happens when we die, what happens to our spirit, our soul. I firmly believe and trust that I know that there is more than just this one lifetime. And I would love to hear the guides talk about that.
Okay. Well, do you want to start to chant? Shall I channel? Do we have many questions in, Clark? How are we doing?
Lots.
Oh, good.
Well, that's wonderful.
Thank you all for joining us. This is very exciting for me. I'm going to light my candle here. Hopefully not light myself. And I'm going to set an intention or say a prayer, whichever you wish to use, words, I ask in the name of the highest, the brightest, and the purest beings for healing energy, for healing words, for those who ask, and for our wonderful world. And Clark, could I have something to hold? I always have to hold a piece of jewelry, actually. As you'll remember, Joanna, when we sat in the same room together, it would be a ring. It acts as an anchor. I have Clark here with me, and he is my anchor. Not that I disappear completely. It's just my own personal little ritual I have developed. Okay, Joanna, Clark, all the wonderful beings that are with us in this amazing circle. I'll talk to you later.
And it will just take a few moments for the energy to come through Jane, and then we'll begin our conversation with the guides.
Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello.
Who am I speaking to?
I no longer have a name, but I am drawn to the light that you provide.
Well, welcome. Did you come with any message or information for us, or just to participate in this session?
Yes, I suppose you would call it that, a session. I'm drawn to the light that you have created. You're a most eloquent being, and many are drawn here.
Many
How is it that I can help? We of the light are often drawn when there is a great need for information or understanding, to touch the hearts of your physical beings to help your spirits evolve.
That sounds like a wonderful opportunity for all of us. You talk about our spirits evolving. Do you want to explain a little more about that, or do you want me to ask a question? we have some questions.
Questions are always the best way to begin. I would beseech this of you.
That sounds like a perfect idea. I have a question from AJ, and AJ asks, she says, Jane, I would like to ask my guides if I am on the right track. Please and thank you. With much love, AJ. With that information, are you able to connect with this being?
Yes, my dear. Through your energies and speaking the words of this one that has asked the question. Interesting you ask the right track when often, my little one, you have tried many different directions, feeling somewhat always just missing the boat. I suppose that's the best way of saying it, but dearest one, now is time to clean it up, clarify it, take note as to all your actions having consequences. You are present in a time when your actions are very important in the growth of your being, your truth, your evolution. You often ask, right track, wrong track. It is but one track, my dear, and learning is the issue on this track. Are you learning? Are you understanding who you are? Do you understand oftentimes that you give up your greatest power for the greater good of others? There's a part of you that is a very evolved being and a very loving being. But now it is time for you to absorb as much energy as possible to strengthen your being and to choose for the greater good of you. For then you will be able to succeed at that you are trying very hard to do. Exhaustion is a familiar friend to you, and you must now embrace it and realize that there are other ways in which to use your energies without physically exhausting. And in truth, it is the mental exhaustion more than anything. Bless you, my child. I suppose right track, wrong track, it matters not. Choose for your being like you're filled with love for your being, and it shall be.
Oh, thank you very much. I like that idea of choosing for your being, your whole being, for your spirit, for your soul, for your purpose here. It's hard sometimes to get, let's put it this way. It's easy sometimes to get lost in our day-to-day things and kind of forget why we're here. We all have that problem, I think, getting lost in the details. Do you have advice for all of us?
When you feel the most that you're going against the current, as if every step becomes just too difficult to do, it's because you truly are going against the natural flow of your growth. So you should stop, see where you are, be present, take a deep breath, be very physical, understand that you are a spirit who has created a body to hold you, a beautiful body that is trying very hard to access the growth that is necessary for you. That you might sometimes feel like you are a stranger in a different world, that you need to be more familiar with it. So in those moments of greatest confusion, be still, deep breaths, sometimes just having a good wiggle down to your toes and out to your fingertips and up to the top of your head. Be present. Almost seems like a child that has just had a terrible, frustrating time. They sometimes will throw themselves upon the floor and just need to breathe and yell and scream. And truly, there's not much difference in being allowed to do that quietly. If you're an adult, I imagine it's much more acceptable. So take some time for yourself when you're most frustrated, and then choose whether you have a ritual place, a place that you consider your peaceful, healing place, whether it be a chair, a garden, on the beach, near the water, put your toes in the ocean, lake. Water is always a negative energies, that negative ions that help clarify the mind. And be still and try to ask yourself, what is truly bothering me? And it could be something that someone said a long time ago, or something that someone looked at you a different way and you were in a moment of super sensitivity, very open, and it left a permanent feeling. If that is so, then go to that place, go to that feeling where it's felt it in your body and love it, speak to it and say, no, 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 you are fine. That was their problem. They were having a bad moment, or that situation. They were, oftentimes beings are carrying around with them the attitudes and understandings of everyone around them instead of who they need to be at that moment. And especially open-hearted, loving beings tend to absorb all of these things. So recognize it, identify it, and let it go. It could be a partner who's having difficulty. You don't need to carry their pain. Yes, tolerate, loving, be with them to understand who they be, but do not take on their pain and their work. And that is, most frustration lies within that. If you had everything your way and all clarity, you'd be zooming ahead with all your promises and all your great growth. But it is a condition in the physical world to want to commune, to want to connect with other beings. And so you vibrationally take on a lot of things that are not necessary. And so try to be still. Try to clarify the bottom line, what's bothering you. Love it. Make peace with it. Take some deep breaths and say, I am perfect. I am filled with love and light, and I shall bring to this world that vision of who I be. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's lovely. I'd like to write that down. I am filled with love and light. And just remember that.
It doesn't matter if you remember the exact words, but remember the feeling that it gives you.
Yeah.
Rituals often do not need a great deal. I was confused why people think they have to memorize everything. If certain understandings give you a feeling, that's the feeling that is gone within you. That's what you need to do. It's like the negative feeling that goes in with you. You don't remember the exact words and instance, even just release that and replace it with the positive of I am light, I am love.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Mm.
We do have another question here from Amy Harris. She would ask for a message from her guides about her spiritual path and the development of her gifts.
A message from her guides. One moment. My dearest Amy, proceed. You don't look for permission anymore. Allow your being to speak freely of all that you have held within you. I know that in this world that you walk in, certificates are needed, permission is often needed. Even the feeling that you can't even speak to me without having some sort of permission is absolutely insane. You have free will. You are a spark of the eternal energy. You have every channel open to you to speak to that is wonderful light and power around you, and to help others through this. The fear of this, the fact that your heart beats fast when you get these messages and get this understanding, is all absolutely necessary and absolutely normal in your being. Know that this is a huge responsibility to speak the words of the love and light that comes through you, and do it. There's no need to wait. The truth will always be heard, my blessed one. They may not always want to hear the truth, but it will be heard. All beings present in your physical world right now have evolved to a point of the plane of truth, knowing right from wrong. It's no longer an issue to learn right from wrong. It is known. I love you, my dear.
That was Amy's guide speaking. a very powerful guide, and it sounds as though Amy is also very intuitive. Um, well, we do have another question from Mike R. He says, I'm asking for input on the best attitude to have during this setback in my physical rehab. Bravado doesn't seem to fit. I've been here many times. Maybe just being tender with my body? Thanks.
Hello, my dear. Well, one should always be loving and tender with one's body, especially joints. They seem to hold on to a lot of, well, you would call it pain, and I would call it vibrational garbage sometimes. It just sort of builds up at the joints and can cause quite prickly situations. And so be tender, be loving, but be strong, and know that that inner self is very strong. And this setback, all right, you're getting it. There's a reason for it. It isn't about being all physically stronger than, well, rocks. Be the light. That is the greatest strength that is in you. The greatest beings often are the tender ones, the ones that can reach those gentle souls that are the most lost. And you have done this over and over in your life many, many times. Be that to yourself, my blessed one. Be that to yourself. And it's time to speak your truth with all around you, that oftentimes you just feel very lonely and need just to have conversation, just conversation, gentle communication with all beings. You don't always have to be doing something for someone else. You don't always have to be showing them their way to their happiness. Yours is important too, my dear. Speak from your heart, gentle one, and everything else will heal. Will you always be in pain? It will move about you from place to place. You actually have an autoimmune condition, which isn't your body attacking you. It's your spirit trying to tell you many different things. But you are being in touch with your spirit. You are being in touch with the energy of who you are. And you are now feeling it. And some days it's worse than others. But be patient. Love yourself, my dear, as I love you.
That's wonderful information for Mike. Thank you. I have a question from a dear friend of mine, Kath. She's also had a difficult time healing from something that started many months ago. She says, my early symptoms were heavy, achy arms. I felt like a horse that had a heavy yoke on for far too long. Then I picked up an infection that became a bladder infection, and it's just now starting to heal, I hope, and I think that it is. Can you offer any insight to this physical disturbance, and how can I support my immune system? We have a new guide here.
Yes, my blessed one. It is true. Your being does experience exhaustion. Your gut has great difficulty at this time. There are many flora and fauna that dwell in the gut. It is very difficult to recharge this area without prebiotics and many other things that nourish this part of your being. Certain fibers, certain relaxation things. Bifida, most important. That gets wiped out, and it takes a long time to recharge in a being such as yourself. So make sure you get as much of that as possible.
Did you say
It is a form of a bacteria present in the gut, and it helps very much with the immune system. It's why the bladder infection. Healing it takes time, takes rest, takes a steady temperature. Do not get too cold or too hot. When we used to walk the fields together, You and I, we had a great time choosing the different herbs. Why you've been drawn many times to the different herbal help. Slippery elm, very good for you. Dandelion recharges you. The weakness in the arms is all part of this exhaustion. You need B vitamins, but they're very hard to consume when the gut is not digesting properly. So you must find ways in which you take B1, 2, 3, all in ways that can be absorbed easily by your body without causing a discord, which you know about already. But this will help you. As to your heart, there's nothing wrong with it other than exhaustion. You give your being some, you must cut out all sugars. You must not have any sugars right now. Whether they are feeding a bacteria in your gut that is overwhelming the others, and that's why you are feeling so exhausted. That might be a little difficult for you, I know, my dear, but you can do this.
These things are difficult for many people. Kath also asks about another thing that's undermining her garden. She has moles in her garden, and she doesn't want to just I think it's maybe one mole. She says, I don't want to disturb her faithful tunneling work, but my dahlias are also needing to be stable.
You can put in stakes and things by first making a lot of noise to cause the thing to move. You're not disturbing the ability of this little creature. It's interesting because this creature is drawn to you because I am with you right now. We walk the fields together, and this little being is very familiar to those things. Many creatures will be drawn to you, so don't be surprised if there aren't many of them. I love you, my dear. Stake your dahlias, but know that the little creature will be fine. I know you worry about killing them and causing discord, but if you knock the earth, if you pound the earth before you begin this, it will move them along. So you can do your thing, and then they will continue. Dahlias never stopped moles. And for you, my dear, you should take great care in healing your body. Walk. Take time to not always be worried about others. I know there's so many that you love dearly and want always to help. Let the tears flow, my blessed one. I am with you. I will never leave you. And just ask for yourself, please. I love you.
Thank you so much. I have a question for a guide. The question is how, for all of us, I think, how do we know that it is our guide speaking to me and not our ego?
Hello, my dear. How to decipher? Well, that is the great desire to create a communication with your guides. You might at first not hear words. You might have symbols. It might take a while for you to start to trust in that. That's simply the barrier, is your trust, and nearly always your inner voice might be one that's more negative, unfortunately. Your inner voice might be one that's filled with fear of old ways and old conditions, and fear to trust in a voice that doesn't have a body attached to it, at least one that you can see with your eyes. But trusting in asking your guides to give you a way in which you will be unexpecting the answer or the condition of them being present with you. This helps in many ways, but guides will always find a way in which If you are willing and wanting communication, they will find a way of speaking. It's not any desire of theirs to have you faint with fear or be frightened by them, but to trust in their words. If they are loving and kind, or words such as yes, or if you do this thing, or you beware of, certain conditions, if you hear that, then you would always listen to that anyway. Even if you thought it was your own inner voice, would you not listen to a warning of something? If your gut told you don't go there, doesn't matter if it's a guide saying it or your gut. Listen to all communication within your being. Know your voice as well as get to know your guides, whether they be symbols, words, ticker tapes. There's so many different ways that a being spirit can communicate with their loved one. So many ways. They might have you hear a certain music. You might hear a song you would never sing ordinarily. Just trust in that. Trust is probably the greatest barrier that many beings have.
Yeah. Trust in ourselves, I guess, or trust in the universe, or is it the same thing?
Yes, trust in a power greater than you. Perhaps you might think that, but you're a powerful being too.
Thank you very much for that. I have a question from a person who calls themselves, guess this is AJ. I would like to ask my guides if I am on the right track. Thank you with much love. AJ, did we already ask this question? Is this perhaps, am I remembering we had this question already?
I believe, yes. I think their entity answered it.
Yes, I think we did have that one. Perhaps there's another one. Oh, here we are, a question from Peace. She asks, please tell me how to protect myself in this life with people who do not always have the best interests of others in mind.
Well, my dear, firstly, I want to say, try not to always think other people have some other condition in mind when they are with you. Try to bring to this situation bright light and love of who you be, and envision your heart shedding it out of you, pouring out of your chest into the room surrounding the beings. Try to surround them in love. Try to make the space be filled with love. That is the greatest protection for you, because as you shine it out of you, it encircles you and moves forward. In all situations, always bring your best, bring your light to it. And that will always protect you and create a most wonderful condition around you that is a line of protection, because others that perhaps want to get into the weeds with negative talk can instantly be dissolved into the light and the love that you bring. Be joyful. Smile. If someone is unhappy, try to make them smile by actually saying, you look unhappy. Is there something I can do to help you? Is there something I can talk about with you that brings some joy to your life? Be the joy in others' lives. Be the joy in your life. Why is this such a difficult thing to understand? You truly are a walking light, and you shed light on all darkness. And if someone is so lost in their misery that you think that they would want to attack you, then they most definitely need your love, need the light that you shine upon them. So many in your world do. So many do. Love them. Walk with your head up, your shoulders square, and be brilliant. Be so wonderful to have this opportunity of a life to grow, to learn, to live, to see the joy. You know, my dear, it's been a long time since I've had a physical body. I no longer can dwell in that. But I remember it dearly. I remember it had its pain and its difficulties, but what a magnificent opportunity to see that wonderful physical creation, your body, your world, your opportunities for promises to be completed. I know you're all experiencing the end of an overturn of great growth, the end of a lot of difficulties. You might see it now as more difficulties, but in truth, it's coming to an end. And so those that are trying and struggling the most with the change are making the most noises and trying to drag things backwards, but they will not succeed because it is a time of forward movement. Great celebration is happening. Great celebration. Great truth will be spoken. And let you be one of them to shed the light of love.
Well, thank you. Those words about what's happening right now and those words of encouragement are something we all need to be hearing now. It's a very difficult time in the world.
Yes. A time, though, that you mustn't recoil, but in truth step forward.
Oh, we have another question from Angie here. Angie asks, may I please ask my guides about my connection with Samuel? Thank you.
Whenever a strong feeling arises, note that this is an opportunity for growth. Emotions dwell within the physical domain as keys to bring awareness, to bring messages, to bring a vibrational state to an understanding, to bring growth. Those strong feelings tell you that this is familiar, that this is something I know, this is something I've wanted, this is something I've experienced. Where does it belong in my life? This is what you find the greatest difficulty with. But have you really a need to analyze instead of just simply be in it? Does not a rising of love and feelings of great power awaken you? Make you feel they are very much present in the physical world? Does it not bring awareness of the fact that you need this in your life, that you have been missing it? It brings up the opportunity for growth. It brings up questions that if I were to tell you exactly where and why and how, it would take away from your growth. And so instead, I remind you of the keys that you have been given through the emotional state that you feel with this. Yes, there is growth at hand. And yes, there is the opportunity for great pain and great joy. But you must choose the element of work. Have you known this one before? It must be difficult to walk in a world where some are so sensitive and some are not. The yin and the yang of it all, the highs and the lows. To cope, to love beyond judgment. You are a wise being. You can figure this out. I love you, my dear. I love you all.
Thank you so much for coming to speak to us. It looks like we have another guide coming through. I believe we probably will see another guide if the energies, if Jane is able to sustain them. I believe we do have more questions, especially the one about the first one we spoke about, near-death experiences and what they reveal to us about past lives, or about dying and what we would. Yes, here it is. Michael asks, "Dear Jane and Guides, can you please tell us what do near-death experiences reveal about life and beyond?"
It perhaps you being a writer, it's foreshadowing. It's about giving you for those who have not experienced it, a glimpse of all the wonder that is possible and all the different things that can be, for those who wish to share their experience, for those who fear this transformation. It gives them a calmness that there will be more. For those who are seeking to understand their spiritual being, it will be a confirmation. For those who follow a strict religion and a belief that does not allow such things, it will give them a purpose to think and to make choices. And for those who believe in evil and nasty things, trust that they will experience that for a little while before the light comes with the help that they need.
I have heard that people will experience what they believe they will experience for a while.
Yes.
And then
remember, there is no time once you have transformed into that. Even though they're coming back, they have lost time. It may seem a long experience, but it can be a momentary blip.
and after that,
And after they return, then they have their opportunity to have clarity in their path and walk, or maybe will trouble them and they will seek to understand in a different way, or maybe they will do the things they've always wanted to do and never done, or maybe they will do many things. Again, the choice of the free will is theirs to do.
Can I just ask for a little clarification here? When you say after a short time, it's maybe a long time, are you talking about then returning again to another life, or are you talking about some time
returning to the present life, the time in which they were considered out of body?
Yeah, so it might give them some new insights.
Yes, there is no time element there, or where I dwell, there is no time. It is a physical domain that has time.
Right.
Because you created it. The physical world created the marking and the passing of the onward movement of love and growth.
So we think about what happens beyond life, and you're talking about a moment when we're just experiencing near death. Talk about what happens to us when we actually do die.
Well, as you know, my dear, well, I guess you don't know in your conscious memory, but all beings do have an understanding. That's why it's quite familiar when they do get there. But first of all, you will experience what you believe, but whether it is to be alone or to be with someone or present, you will hear both dimensions for a while. So you will hear not only the beings that were with you in your present state of transformation, plus the understanding of what is yet to be. And then after acceptance of the passing and the physical release of the spirit and the moving in it, first, you might feel like you are in a liquid, like you are moving through, transforming through a different form of air. You won't breathe, but it's like you're in soup, like you're in a liquid of some sort. You might feel not heavy nor light, but a somewhat difficulty in moving your body. And then you might have a great desire to just experience walking again or running again, and you might ricochet about the room that you were in or out to the outside or places that you love. You might move about quickly and just and oftentimes people experience the energy, electrical light. They will explode, lights will go on and off, that sort of thing, as you touch them, because you will be in between all these different energies. And then in time, you will start to see the light, and your guides will come and greet you, and loved ones that maybe perhaps were with you a long time will come and greet you, and you will experience a great deal of what was very familiar to you first. And then you will be in a time of great learning, great love and support. You will see your whole life and past lives as well, and what is yet to be learned, and what have we yet to love, and what have we yet to experience. And we rejoice in this time, because then you will choose whether to return, what promises, my dear, these are elements of learning that you make only to yourself. You will choose what you need to learn. You will see as you grow how your understanding of what you need yet to learn will be within you. And you will decide, perhaps I didn't do that very well. I need to go back and redo that, maybe with the same beings. Maybe the promise will be with other beings, but the element of learning will be once revisited to maybe see the other side of it, etc., etc. That is what you experience until such time as you are ready to return. Then you will become much more in tune with the physical world again. Beings that you loved might be present. You might choose to be with them again, and you will determine how you will enter into the physical world again. Oh, always you will come through the physical bodies. Yes.
So
choose that.
You make it sound as though this could take a very long time before you.
Why would you worry about the time when there is no time where you would be?
Well, that's true. Yes. Yeah, we do seem to be kind of hung up on time here. Well, because it is a physical world, I guess, and things grow, and
there are cycles in the world. Cycles that return time and time again, just as you do.
Mm-hmm. Well, this has given me a lot to think about, and a lot of other people here. I don't know if we have any other questions to ask. Are you able to answer any other questions?
I think the little one has need to return.
I understand. I know that takes a great deal of her energy. And I'm very grateful for you and for all of the guides who have come through to speak today.
It is known, blessed one. Know that you are loved.
Thank you so much. When Jane comes back, the candle is too bright for her, so that's why we're seeing Clark put his hand in front of the candle. Here comes Jane.
Okay.
Quite a sudden drop back in.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Clark. Oh my goodness, I seem to have tears in my eyes.
Oh, what a wonderful guide. What we had a bunch of wonderful guides come through and speak. And
nice.
Yeah, we had many questions answered. It's when Jane first comes back, she's really, it takes her a while to come back, because she's been, I'm not sure where you've been, actually.
La La Land.
What is your experience?
It's like sleeping. It's sleeping, it's relaxing, and then I return like, oh, right. Oh yeah, that's right. No, it's very, very nice. I feel like a giant marshmallow right now, full of love.
Which is wonderful.
It is.
Yeah. We can't really maintain that for too long. You do have to deal with the realities of the world. although, we've been hearing about opportunities for growth. We've been hearing about what happens when we pass over, and sometimes it's hard to even, you hear the words and you get a glimpse of what they're talking about, but it's not, yeah, it's a good thing
Yeah.
there's no exam on it. That's all I can say. Because
Thank you, Joy.
even when people would come and ask, and I've had the opportunity to speak with my guides, and I'm so involved in it, and I'm hearing it at a level that it feels so real and so huge. And then someone might ask, well, what did they say? And I'm going, I don't remember. Because which is nice that we have the opportunity to hear this again through this recording and through this session.
Yeah, I think I've heard them say that they often, even though they're using words to talk to you, that's a vibration that you absorb it beyond words. And they can actually help people heal just by talking to them, just by the opening being present. I know that's why they're so adamant about telling you to ask, because you create the opening in which they can actually be, because nobody can intrude upon you unless you allow that to happen, or no one can enter into your energies or anything like that. You hear about people saying, oh, I was taken over. No, that doesn't happen. You ask for help, and in comes the light and the love for you.
Right.
I've forgotten what I was talking about.
You were talking about both in that state, and I believe that even the people who are watching this are probably feeling the same thing, because that energy somehow is communicated even through our computers, our seeing it.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing that we can use this technology? It really is. It's wonderful. It
Yeah,
really is wonderful.
it is.
It just shows you that there really is no barriers to the energy. None.
Yeah, yeah.
In which I guess I should do a closing. Is
I
it
think it would
closing
be
time?
very good for all of us.
Okay. Thank you for all joining us. Thank you for coming together with your heart and your love and being open and allowing the love in. And know that we all are connected. We are all one. And as we go out into our days and our busy lives, remember that you are pure light. You can heal. You can move through this lifetime. You can make choices that are of the highest and the purest and the brightest. I love you all. You are part of me. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Clark.
Thank you, Clark.
I love you.
See you next time.